11 races down, one race remaining in what has been a sensational year in the ADAC GT4 Germany, and it is all to play for. The championship is wide open. Finn Zulauf and Josef Knopp lead Mikael Stray and Gabriel Piana by just 8 points, but they start this race well ahead of their championship rivals. We are on the closing part of the formation lap here at the Hockenheimring, a circuit that's just over 4.5 kilometers around with 17 turns, 9 to the right and 8 to the left. Are you ready for the last dance of the 2024 season? It's time to find out who the champion of 2024 will be as we are go. It's the guesting Rafael Rennhofer, who started on pole position and leads the field into turn 1 and into turn 2. The rest of the car scattering is Alain Gabet, who qualified in P2, and he holds on to that P2. Keep an eye on Max Rosam in the BMW in 3rd place, rising on board with Enzo Juliet. Into the hairpin they come, turn 6, but Rafael Rennhofer, yesterday's winner with the success ballast on board, but the driver challenging for the championship, car number 2, right there in the traffic, Mikael Stray. He's down in 11th place at the moment. He needs to get up with car 31, but car 31 is in 8th place with Josef Knopp at the wheel. This is a fight for the championship. We have a fight for the lead as well. Rafael Rennhofer exiting the hairpin. Alain Gabet briefly showing in front, but Rennhofer making the Aston Martin as wide as he can. Henrik still in 3rd place. Then it's Max Rosam, Enzo Juliet, Denny Byrne, Ferdinand Winter, Josef Knopp, championship leader in 8th place. Senna Sommerfeld from Jamaica ahead of Matis Plushko rounding out the top 10. Then it's Mo Ritson, but Ritson's gone spinning, turned around in the background. He's gone together with another car, but car 2 under investigation. The drivers who are challenging for the championship for a false start. So Mikael Stray under investigation as well. Also under investigation, car 10 for weaving after the grid board. So the stewards are very busy indeed. It's kicking off at the front, in the middle and at the back. But at the front, at the moment, Rennhofer retakes the lead. Alain Gabet in 2nd. Hendrik still has been overtaken by Max Rosam, but there's the 47 car also disappearing off, and that has got Joe Warhurst at the wheel. But look at this, the race lead heading in towards turn 1. Once again, Rafael Rennhofer with Alain Gabet tucked up behind him. Henrik still, the 3 of them have broken clear. Then it's Max Rosam, then Denny Byrne, Enzo Juliet, Ferdinand Winter. Towards turn 2 we come. So it is going to be 57.5 minutes remaining of this race, plus the 1 lap. It's a 60-minute race with a mandatory stop and driver change. The championship alive and kicking here in the ADAC GT4 Germany at the Hockenheimring. There is Max Rosam in car 4 in the BMW. Heading in towards the hairpin, a challenge for the lead. Alain Gabet looking for his first win in ADAC GT4 Germany. Rafael Rennhofer has the faster line. He squeezes the Porsche, but it is a drag race. The Porsches have been looking mighty here at the Hockenheimring. Towards turn 7 they come in the background. Hendrik still ready to pounce. Going wide, Alain Gabet under braking into turn 8, the left-hander, but it's Gabet who squeezes his nose in front. Hendrik still trying to follow through. Rafael Rennhofer, along with co-driver Hugo Sasso, who won yesterday, are here just for trophies. They're not here for points. They're guest drivers. They don't earn points. He's down to 2nd place at the moment. But here, the championship leader, Josef Knopp in 8th place, challenging Enzo Juliet in 7th. He cannot afford to have any mistakes. He cannot afford to have a DNF. But if the race finished now, it would be Zulauf and Knopp who win the championship by 13 points. Di Fulgento, Juliet well out of the equation now. Where is 2nd in the championship, Mikael Stray? I tell you where, he's in 12th place. Under investigation is car 30, the 3rd place, Hendrik Still, for a false start. So we've got several cars under investigation for a false start. None more so than Mikael Stray. This could be a championship deciding decision by our race stewards. There are the rest of the cars coming round the corner. So, 56 minutes of this race remaining here, the final race of the season. Right, false start. Cars are meant to pass through their grid boxes. Well, certainly, that looked like the BMW had ducked out of line early. There are a couple of others as well. The drivers are meant to pass through their grid boxes before the lights change. So there you can see confirmation. Car 30 in third place under investigation, but also car 2. The car, Michael Schreier at the wheel, currently in 12th place under investigation. On board with championship leader Josef Knopp. A replay of that first corner. The 46 car, Max Rosan, coming past like a missile around the outside into turn 2 and around to turn 3. That was the view from Enzo Julier as the BMW came streaming past, stealing that position away. This was into turn 8 as well. And that was the spin that saw us lose 2 British drivers. At least we haven't lost them, but they've gone to the back. They are driving for the same team as well, and Joe Warhurst fancied doing a bit of rallycross while he was at it. Across the gravel trap he went in the BMW, so the 2 Brits both racing for FK performance in the BMWs may have some discussions. Joe Warhurst is now into the pits, and it looks like, well, it's potentially a puncture or some kind of work to be done on the front of the car. And there's another one that's been into the barriers. That is Philip Dietrich in the 71 car. Such a shame, been looking so quick with Max Wimmer as his co-pilot, replacing David Lackner for this round. They got a 12th place yesterday, which was Philip Dietrich's best result of the season. He's been looking really quick, but you can see that car's not going to go any further. It is shedding hot water onto the grass and steaming up. The yellows are out now. I think we're probably going to get a safety car, or at the very least a full course yellow. Our race leader is Alain Gabet, about 9/10 of a second ahead of Rafael Renhofer, who's under pressure from Hendrik Still. We've had a warning for car number 1, Rafael Renhofer, for track limits. Into the hairpin we come. A gap on the inside, but the safety car is out. So I'm not sure whether that will count or not, depending on how quick the safety car came out. Such a shame for Philip Dietrich, the very popular Austrian, there we go, I've just moved him a few thousand miles. The very popular Austrian for ADAC Motorsport. He will retire back to the garage, so not the way he had hoped his season was going to end. So it looks like he went unaided, just went wide onto the runoff area, and was potentially, looks like there was damage to the car, potentially the water flowing onto the wheel, providing no grip, very little steering, and then from that point onwards he was going to be heading to the scene of the accident, and car 71 coming into fairly hasty retirement, and that's a real shame for Philip Dietrich. A lot of bumping going on in the opening laps of the race. Classic ADAC GT4 Germany. This here is where the lead changed hands. That was where Alain Gabet found the route on the inside of Rafael Renhofer. Great to have Rafael here. Took his first ever win in GT4 Germany yesterday. So, with the safety car out, it's Gabet who leads ahead of Hendrik Still, is saying here. So, Rafael Renhofer has dropped a position behind the safety car. Now, it might be he dropped the position before the safety car came out, and in fact, it only registered when they crossed the start-finish line. Denny Berndt just been getting on with it in 4th place. Max Rosan down to 5th, so Berndt in the Porsche. The Porsches have been looking very strong here this weekend. Rosan in 5th, ahead of Ferdinand Winter in 6th. Then, championship leader Josef Knopp in 7th, ahead of Enzo Julier, Jan Marszalkowski in the Aston Martin in 9th, and Mattis Plushko rounding out the top 10. So, if the race finished now, Finn Zulauf and Josef Knopp would be champions. A 7th place would get them 9 points. At the moment, Michael Schreier in 12th place, along with Gabriel Piana, 12th place, would get them 4 points. And it means that as the season closed, Finn Zulauf and Josef Knopp would win the championship by 13 points. Back into the pits comes car 47. Such a shame. Joe Warhurst, real character. I think the way the mechanic just slung the board onto the bonnet probably says it all and probably summarises how they're all feeling about this. He, along with Tom Edgar, have been a very welcome addition. Hands thrown up into the air, so say all of us. He looks at the damage to the car. Sadly, his co-pilot, Tom Edgar, is not even going to get to sit in that, and it's not the way they anticipated their 2024 season finishing. A real shame. Mo Ritson, the other one who was involved in that, currently being shown in 21st place. He is still moving, I do believe, but he has been shown as a lap down. So that's a real shame because he made really good progress yesterday in the number 48 car. Made it up into the positions, may or may not, delete as applicable, have attracted the attention of the race stewards, but certainly not going to be troubling the front runners here this afternoon. So safety car is out. The incident between the two FK Performance BMWs, awkward over dinner tonight somewhat, is under investigation. A lot of track limit infringements at the moment, so I predict that we may well see some penalty laps incoming if this continues. I'm not going to read out the names because too many of them. Cars 85, 84, 77, 71, 1, 46, 32, 85 again, 20, 8, 91 and 10, all under investigation for track limits. They've had lap times deleted. All of those cars may well be under investigation further by the stewards if they continue to exceed the track limits. It's primarily turn 1 where the track limits issues seem to occur. Looking down at the hairpin, there is a race leader, Alain Gabet, leading the way in ADAC GT4 Germany. Had a very solid qualifying session this morning and looking very, very useful as he leads the field around. The car's just weaving to keep heat into the tyres and into the brakes, and he's now going to have to lead them across the start-finish line under green flag conditions because we have notification that the safety car is in on this lap. Some great angles here as we look at the... Oh, there goes my water bottle. As we look at the driver's standings, Finn Zulauf, if the race finished now, and Josef Knott would lead Mikael Schrey and Gabriel Piana by 13 points. So, Alain Gabet, his best results so far in GT4 Germany was a 5th at the Nürburgring, so has never even stood on the podium. He shares the driving duties with Tano Neumann. I've been practicing that. He too, 5th at the Nürburgring is his best ever result in 59 starts of ADAC GT4 Germany. So they would dearly love to hold on to this position. What a way to finish the season. So, right, confirmation, safety car is in on this lap. The cars are now heading in towards turn 17, out onto the pit straight, and Alain Gabet has got a good jump on Hendrik Still. It was his decision when to hit the accelerator. As long as he doesn't overtake the safety car, he can do whatever he wants. The one thing the cars behind cannot do is overtake until they hit the start-finish line. Well, there's no chance of that because Gabet had checked out when the green lights came on. Our pole sitter, Rafa Renhofer, in 3rd place, looking vulnerable to Denny Burns. And once again, the Porsches really proving to be very rapid, none more so than in the hands of Josef Knott, championship leader yesterday, leapfrogged the drivers who were the championship leaders coming into this weekend, Gabriel Piana and Mikael Schrey. And it was Schrey and Piana's car, with Schrey at the wheel, that came to a stop with broken steering. They tried to reduce the weight. They tried to get the car as fast as possible as we look at a challenge round the outside for 3rd place. Right, penalty lap for Mikael Schrey for a false start. This is disastrous for what could be a championship challenge. The drivers who are challenging in the championship, the only drivers who can challenge Zulauf and Knott in the championship, have received a penalty lap. It means they will have to visit the penalty box. It will add 5 seconds onto their lap time, and to add insult to injury, the cars are all bunched up. They've got to take it within the next couple of laps. It means that 5 seconds will see them lose a number of places. Because we've had that safety car, they are going to drop back a long way. Absolute disaster. Also, a penalty lap for car 30. Henrik Still is running in second place as bits of billboard and car go flying up into the air. There's a bit of damage on the back of Matthias Salonen's 84 car. So penalty laps, car 2, car 30. So 2 cars with penalty laps awarded. One of them second in the championship, the other second in the race. And they will have to visit the penalty lap. It's going to promote Denny Burnt up into second place in this race. And I repeat, this is disastrous, double injury, because the cars are bunched up as a result of being behind the safety car. We're looking again at the Mercedes of Salonen doing a little bit of grass track racing. I think that might have come from the underside of his car. His teammate, Alex Connor, behind, would have had a bit of a moment there. They're fed up with damage on that car. That's what it looked like from the rear. Bits of bodywork flying up into the air, and drivers behind would be very careful not to run over that and risk cutting a tyre. We're still getting the track limit warnings as well at the moment. A number of them popping up. Cars 66, 20, 46, 91, 31, 18 and 8. Right through the penalty box. Oh, that is gonna hurt. Mikael Stray, the only driver, along with his co-driver, Gabriel Piano, who could have caught Josef Knott and Finn Zulauf for the championship, came into this weekend as the championship leaders, but the BMW has not had the pace of the Porsches. There is still 45 minutes of this race remaining, plus 1 lap, so they've got time for something to happen, but at the moment their main championship rivals are up in 6th place. Josef Knott, who leads the championship with Finn Zulauf, is up in 6th place. Matthias Salonen just ahead of Mikael Stray, trailing bits of bodywork and debris. There is Tommy Rackle in the number 77 BMW as well. So Stray, now after that false start, he will be kicking himself about that. The hazard lights are still on after his visit to the penalty box. It's normal to put the hazard lights on to indicate to the drivers behind that you're about to duck off into the penalty box, to let them know you're going to be slowing down, and clearly he's left those on. No further action between cars 47 and 48, so Joe Warhurst and Mo Ritson get off scot-free in terms of penalties. The stewards have had a look at that and decided there will be no further action. I should think they'll probably just duke it out in the garage afterwards. If the race finished now, Zulauf and Knott would be 19 points clear of that car there, the blue and silver BMW. The car that has been dominating the ADAC GT4 Germany Championship this year. Well, you might say, well, maybe the BOP is working against them, but it's about scoring consistent wins across all the rounds. The Porsches have been quick here. They've been quick at the Norris Ring, as we see Mo Ritson just picking up another place, looking down at the hairpin. They're quick here, but it levels out over a season. There have been many races where the BMW has been the quicker car, and Mikael Stray and Gabriel Piano have had 5 wins this season. At the moment, Finn Zulauf and Josef Knott with 2 wins and 5 second places. That is what's given them that points haul. 6th place at the moment would be enough to secure the championship for car 31, but we've still got a long way to go. We've got 7 3/4 minutes before the pit window opens. Then that window will remain open for 10 minutes. During that 10-minute window, every car will need to come into the pits for a mandatory stop and driver change. There is also a minimum pit stop time of 95 seconds. We don't have performance pit stops in ADAC GT4 Germany, so 95 seconds from pit entry to pit exit. A little shout out to the yellow, black and green car that you see there, the number 32 with Senna Somerville at the wheel, currently in 11th place. They come all the way from Jamaica, along with Tommy Gore, his co-driver, to entertain us here in ADAC GT4 Germany. I know an awful lot of people in Jamaica America have been yelling at their telly sets all the way through this weekend as they yesterday took their first ever podium. At the moment, Mattis Plushkul is up above them. He's at the wheel of Phoenix, the brand new car after the one that Luca Bosco was driving at the Red Bull Ring resembled something similar to a banana. And it's a banana coloured car that's challenging him on the outside, coming into the hairpin. And Plushkul appears to have it covered off at the moment, but for how long? Up ahead of them, Jan Marszałkowski coming under pressure from Enzo Giulio. 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, all running together. In the background is Tim Reiter in the number 3 car, confusing us with a livery change. Right to the inside, Jan Marszałkowski defending for all he's worth that 8th place, but the Mercedes looking mighty. To the outside goes car number 18, Enzo Giulio. His teammate is there as well, Mattis Plushkul. Very important that the two BWT Motorsport cars do not get into each other. Senna Somerville would be very happy if they got up close and personal with each other, because he would no doubt sweep through and steal a position from both of them. In the background, Tim Reiter in the other Hofer Racing by Bonk Motorsport BMWs in the unusual livery. Daniel Drexel is behind them. Our focus is on Jan Marszałkowski in 8th place at the moment. Enzo Giulio, Mattis Plushkul, Senna Somerville, and now Tim Reiter, all in a queue, all fighting for 8th place. Up ahead of them is Hendrik Still. He is now behind Josef Knott after that visit to the penalty box. Still, no changes at the moment, but you know this is all going to change. We're 5 minutes away from the pit window opening. Riding on board with Enzo Giulio, 10th place, bearing down on 9th place teammates. There's no love lost between them here, is there? Plushkul shuts the door in his face and then moves across to block him as they head towards the corner. That allows Jan Marszałkowski just to break clear a little in the Aston Martin. So he breaks clear of this battle. Behind them, Plushkul, Giulio and Somerville all scrapping over 9th place. A challenge further up. Max Rosham is now under pressure from Ferdinand Winter in one of those Porsches. This is for 4th place as we look down at the hairpin, and we can see that Senna Somerville has found a route to the inside of Enzo Giulio. It's going to be a drag race towards turn 7, up towards turn 8. Who's going to be best on the brakes here as they head towards the sharp left-hander? Giulio has the faster line, so Somerville has to yield that position, but he'll come back for another go. There's a car pointing in the wrong direction, and that is the 91 car of Ferdinand Winter. So Ferdinand Winter, who was running in 5th place, pointing in the wrong direction, he's able to rejoin. So Wimmer Werk having something of a mare here. Look at the damage on the side of that Porsche. He has been getting up close and personal with many other cars, and now being challenged by Alex Connor in the CV Performance Mercedes. Right, have another look. I think he may have gone unaided. There was certainly a Max Rosham-shaped car loitering in the background, but I don't think there was any contact. There may be those who disagree with me, but he rejoins further back down the order. There was Mo Ritson, who came sailing through as well. Right, there's our race leader, Alain Gabet. While we've been talking, has opened up a gap of 2.67 seconds over Denny Burnt. We got no more news on any possible penalties from drivers relating to track limits. The warnings, I'm not even going to read the numbers out. It's pretty well be easier to read out the list of drivers who haven't had a track limit warning. My screen is not big enough to house them all. There is the race leader looking down from the hairpin. In 2nd place, Denny Burnt, having found a route past Rafael Renhofer. Then Max Rosham, who is coming under pressure from Hendrik Still, who's coming back from that penalty lap. So Denny Burnt up into 2nd place. He and Simon Birch have had a couple of 2nd places already. They had suspension failure yesterday when they were challenging for position. Pictures of the car crabbing into the pit lane. Want to make up for that today. Denny Burnt into that 2nd place, and now will set about closing in on Alain Gabet, who still leads the way, looking for his first ever win. Both 1st and 2nd have never won a race before. Neither has 4th place, not in this series anyway. So 1st, 2nd and 4th looking for their first wins in ADAC GT4 Germany. Gabet 2.677 last time across the start-finish line. Of course, the dynamic of this race will change once the pit window opens, and I suggest the team might want to keep him out for as long as possible because he's doing a great job. He's opened up the gap by just a smidgen over second place, and he's got an open track in front of him, so they may not be in a rush to hand the number 9 car over to Tano Neumann, his co-driver. Denny Burns, having broken clear of Rafael Renhofer, and to remind you, as the winner yesterday, Rafael Renhofer has an extra 15 kilos on board of success ballast. Our championship leader in that car there, car 31, has an extra 10 kilograms. That's with Finn Zulaf and Josef Knopp. And the third place finishes yesterday, Tommy Gore and Senna Sommerbauer have an extra 5 kilos. You might think, well, that's nothing. It does make a difference. Every little ounce counts here in ADAC GT4 Germany. Right, a challenge for position, but it doesn't stick. Max Rozam coming back again. Hendrik still did have a little look. He ducks back to the inside, but that inside is going to be the outside. They'll get around this corner, but it's going to be an outside as they head towards turn 8, but he's got the job done before they even got there. And now Rozam switches to the outside. He'll cut back to the inside as well, but the position has been taken away. It is 4th place for Hendrik still. Rozam is going to try and come back at him. Keep an eye in the background. Josef Knopp in 6th place. If they can keep that car, he and Finn Zulaf, his very rapid co-pilot, if they can keep it in 6th place for the next 35.5 minutes plus 1 lap, they will be the champions for 2024. Gabay still very much in control at the front. Denny Byrne, Rafael Renhofer. Then this battle here for 4th place. Hendrik Still. The Porsches have been looking so dialed in here. Towards turn 16 they come. Look at Max Rozam hustling that BMW. We are 10 seconds away from the pit window opening. And I expect some of these drivers will be very happy to come in and hand the car over. Others will be happy to stay out for the full 10-minute stint. Right, window open now. And so within the next 10 minutes, cars will be able to come in, will be required to come in for a mandatory stop and a driver change. Right, 4th place Still, indicating left. I don't think he's planning on turning left. Right, in comes Mikael Schrey. His work is done for 2024. He's going to hand it over to a driver who has competed in every single race of the ADAC GT4 Germany that there has ever been. The most experienced driver in the field, Gabriel Piana, for one last time this year. The 2021 champion, both he and Mikael Schrey won the championship in 2021, fancied another pop at the title this year, and it's now Piana who will take control of the number 2 car, but he doesn't have a mountain to climb. He has many mountains to climb because his main championship rival, the number 31, Josef Knopp, is currently running in 6th place, and that BMW was running somewhere near the back of the pack. This fight is still going on. So Matis Plushkal has found a route past Jan Marszalkowski. He's feeling bullied by BWT Muka Motorsports Mercedes. He looks in front, he sees pink. He looks behind, he sees pink. What's he going to do? He's going to make the Aston Martin as wide as he possibly can. It was an emotional win at the Red Bull Ring for Jan Marszalkowski and his co-driver Philip Gogolok. The last time we gathered in Austria, a win looking less likely here unless there's something dramatic that happens up front. But 8th place still solid. Right, peeling off into the pits. That is Hendrik Still. Denny Byrne is in there as well. So here come the driver changes. Out of the pits comes Gabriel Piana, the final roll of the dice, the final chance to try and make an attack, to hope that Josef Knopp and Finn Zulaf run into trouble. So Knopp is in to the pits. The championship leader comes to the pit box. Here comes Finn Zulaf. He is such a quick driver. Josef Knopp, who's made his debut this year behind the wheel of that Porsche. Finn Zulaf has done a couple of seasons driving that car and has proven to be very useful indeed. They know that they are potentially 32.5 minutes plus 1 lap away from a first ever championship in ADAC GT4 Germany. Just while that has been going on, the change for position we saw between car 30 and 46 was instructed by the race stewards because of incorrect overtaking. So Hendrik Still and Max Rozan were instructed to swap places because of incorrect overtaking. Another penalty lap has been awarded, this time for track limits for car 77. It's Tommy Rackle at the wheel of that at the moment. So he will have to visit the penalty box, a box that is painted on the track on the exit of the hairpin. It's about 50 meters big, and they have to pass through that at no more than 50 kilometers an hour. It is the equivalent to adding about 5 seconds onto a lap time. Right, also in is Alex Connor, handing over to Jan-Philipp Springhoff, who's had no luck at all over the last couple of weekends. You also saw Tommy Gore taking control of the ADAC WNS Motorsport Porsche. He's relieved Senna Sommerbell of duties, and Senna Sommerbell's work is done for 2024. So the rest of the cars continuing out onto the track. Our leading pack are remaining out at the moment. Alain Gabet continuing out in the lead of this race, up 4.2 seconds to the good Rafa Renhofer in the #1 car. Then it's Hendrik Still, who is still out, still yet to make a change. Jan Marszałkowski's in as well from 8th place to hand over to Philip Gogolok. Here comes Gabriel Piana in car #2, all the way down in 17th place. He will be promoted several places when those around him pit, but still having to work really hard in the #2 car, coming under pressure. And even Eccleshick finding a route past the BMW. Piana will try and come back, but just doesn't have the legs. He ducks back to the inside. But car 91, even Eccleshick finding a route past. So the disaster of this weekend continues. Gabriel Piana relegated down to 18th place. Will be significantly better than that, obviously, once the race is done, but not enough to win this championship as things stand at the moment. Enzo Juliet gives way to Mark Di Fulgentio in the #18 BWT Mucker Motorsports Mercedes AMG GT4. So the car now just waiting for the clock to tick down. They'll want to hit the line at the pit exit as the clock strikes 0. You don't want to give any time away, but you cannot afford to get to that line early. And by the way, no, you can't park up in front of the line and wait for the clock to strike 0. You're not even allowed to slow down in the pit lane. Once you're rolling, you've got to keep up a pace, and then you want to hit the line when the clock strikes 0, and then lose as little time as possible. Right into the pits comes car 30. So Hendrik Still getting ready to hand over to Max Kronberg. It's been an eventful race. He was in 3rd place. So now he surrenders that position. Also in is Max Rozan. He is going to be handing over to the very rapid Leighton Fury in the FK Performance BMW. Still the 1, 2, and 3 to come into the pits. Race leader Alain Gabet has led the majority of this race. Rafa Renhofer will be handing up the Aston Martin over to Hugo Sasser, guesting here this weekend at the Hockenheimring. We saw both Raphael and Hugo guesting in GT Masters at Spa-Francorchamps earlier this year, but great to have them back here in GT4 Germany. Matthias Salonen, well, he's been in the wars, as indeed has the car. Tear bits off, that's right, it doesn't need it anyway, does it? Lachlan Robinson will be getting ready to jump into the seat of that. Some very rapid modifications. If it hangs off, tear it off completely. It is important because if there's bits hanging off the car, you may well find yourself being called back into the pits by the race stewards to have the car modified for health and safety reasons. But they've torn off all the bits that were hanging off, probably taped up any bits that weren't, and now the door is shut. They'll have the winter to rebuild it. It's all fine. CV Performance, who started this season off with 4 cars, they're down to 2. I think they're running out of body shells. They'll need some bits for that one as well. Here's our race leader, 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Is he going to come in now? Yes, he is. So, Alain Gabet into the pit lane. 3 minutes remaining of the pit window. You can see now it's just Rafa Renhofer, Mattis Pluskal, Tim Reiter and Luca Link who are yet to pit. Luca Link, we haven't mentioned yet, sharing driving duties with David Suzuki, and we welcome Luca to GT4 Germany this weekend. We've seen him in prototypes this year. A very rapid driver, doing a good job, but he's in 5th place Right, everybody else coming in now. So we've just got Tim Reiter, Luca Link, right, Reiter's in, Link's in. So all cars that need to pit are in. Mo Ritson has been shown as 2 laps down and in the pit, so he has clearly retired the car. So I don't know if he's retired the car, maybe he's just come in for his pit stop. He's just that far back. Never mind, Mo. Hey, there's always next year. Right, Luca Link in the blue and white BMW comes to a stop. It's all very peaceful out on the pit lane because, of course, they're all waiting for the clock to tick down. So out comes Luca Link, in gets Damon's position. He's going pro, don't you know? Watch his TV programs, Google it. Right, there's Rafael Renhofer. He has surrendered the seat of that car to Hugo Sasser, the outgoing champion in ADAC GT4 Germany. Hugo Sasser, along with Mike David Ortman, won back-to-back championships last year and the year before. Did not decide to defend the championship this year, but have come back, and we welcome back Pro Sport Racing as well. Great to have them here. Incident between car 18 and 55, pit exit under investigation. So Philip Goglock and car 18, which is, of course, Mark Di Fulgencio. So clearly there's been some drama between those two on the pit exit. Well, it's advantage Goglock because he's in 11th place, Di Fulgencio in 12th. Right, out comes Tano Neumann. So the first of the pitters the leading pitter was Simon Birch now, car number 10. Where is car number 10? He's heading in towards turn 2 at the moment. Car number 9 holds on to the lead. So good job done, Tano Neumann at the front of the field, but he's got to get up to speed, and already Hugo Sasser is feeling the wrath of Simon Birch. So Birch is up into 2nd place. Hugo Sasser in the Aston Martin picking up a slipstream, whatever there is, as they head towards the hairpin of turn 6 under braking. 25 3/4 minutes remaining of this season. A great season of racing in ADAC GT4 Germany 2024 style. And it is Tano Neumann who leads the way. Right back into the pits comes Mark Di Fulgencio. Looks like there's a problem there for the BWT Motorsport Mercedes, and that is a sad end to a year that has been bruising. We saw them take a win at the Lausitz Ring. We saw them take a 2nd place at the Nürburgring and at Oschersleben, and we saw them take a 3rd place last time out at the Red Bull Ring. But clearly there are issues here. It's not a stop and go or anything like that. I think the car is in strife, and it looks like the number 18 car has come into retirement, and it brings a premature end to their 2024 season. Tano Neumann leads the way. Right, let's keep an eye on this gap. Hugo Sasser is in 3rd. Simon Birch has got ahead of him, and we're going to wait for them to cross the line to get an exact reading. So across the start-finish line they come. You can see first, 2nd, 3rd. Right, Birch 3.3 behind, so the 2 behind are closing in. Hugo Sasser hasn't given up on this one yet, has he? Max Kronberg in 4th place, then Leighton Fury, then Finn Zulauf. And if the race finishes now exactly as they are, it will be Finn Zulauf and Josef Knopp who will be crowned champions. I would just point out they were crowned champions in the junior ranking yesterday. Finn Zulauf and Josef Knopp, on account that mathematically they could only be caught coming into yesterday. If Enzo Juliet had got a driver who was a bronze-rated driver, they would therefore have potentially scored more points. But we can confirm that Zulauf and Knopp are already the junior champions, and they will be the overall champions too, unless car number 2 can do something about it. And they're doing absolutely nothing about it at the moment. Gabriel Piana down in 13th place, and seemingly with nothing to challenge the front runners. Looking down at Tim Reiter going into the hairpin, who's handed the car over to Leon Wasserthurer to make that Wasserthurer in car number 3. Even Eccleshick, they are fighting for position. That is for 11th position. Also in car number 40, Adrian Richney in 10th place. Ahead of them, Philip Gogolock. Haven't heard anything else about the investigation that has gone on involving him. But there is champion-elect at the moment. One hand on the trophy. Still a little way to go yet. If the race finished now, to remind you, car 31 would be the champion. By my calculations, the trophy championship has been signed and sealed by Max Kronberg in car number 30. So it could be 2 red, white and black Avia WNS Motorsport Porsches that occupy all of the championships. In the team standings, Avia WNS Motorsport lead Hofer Racing by Bonk Motorsport, and they will do a clean sweep of all championships if the race finishes as they are now. But we still have 22.25 minutes remaining of this race. Right, penalty lap for Damon Suzishin for an unsafe release probably. So he's going to have to visit the penalty box as well, which is a real shame. He's in 16th place at the moment, so a penalty lap for him. Piana finds a route past the fellow Hofer Racing by Bonk Motorsport BMW of Leon Vassathera. I don't think Vassathera was ever going to put up too much of a fight. I don't think he's going to have such an easy job if he manages to catch up with even Eccleshik in car number 91. But Eccleshik looking pretty quick. Looking at Eccleshik's last lap time, it was a 150.211. Piana was a 149.199 last time around. So Piana was quicker on the previous lap, so could potentially catch the Porsche, needs to pass it, but now really is dependent on bad luck befalling car number 31 if he wants to take the championship, because he would ideally need to get to the lead of this race. And Finn Zulauf very much in control. Coming into this race, it was an 8-point lead. It is 25 points for a win, 20 for second, 16 for third. Then it is, I'm going to have to read this, 13 for fourth. Then it goes down to 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in the championships. So consistency is what wins championships, and Finn Zulauf and Josef Knopp have been very consistent throughout the season. Someone who has been consistent in this race is Simon Birch, who is consistently catching Tano Neumann. Simon Birch looking for his first ever win in ADAC GT4 Germany, along with co-driver Denny Burnt. They've had a couple of second places, have stolen the show in some cases with entertainment, but have yet to stand on the top step of the podium. Are they going to make that dream come true in this, the closing race of the season? Because the big gap between first and second has been eaten up to, well, it was a 1.1 second last time across the start-finish line. I think it may be a lot closer than that now. We'll let you know in a bit. But there you go, confirmation. If the race finished now, it would be Zulauf and Knopp who would take the championship lead. There is Tano Neumann in the leading car, the very pretty Porsche for Avia WNS Motorsport. Simon Birch in the very similar car, but that is run by Razun More Than Racing, the Porsche 718 Cayman GT4, closing in on the race leader. So there is first and second and third, all in one camera shot. Hugo Sasser has not given up on the top step of the podium here either. He just wants trophies. He just wants glory. He's not interested in points or anything like that. All he's interested in is winning this race. He's taken it over from Rafael Renhofer, who started this car on pole position. Out onto the pit straight we come. Tano Neumann leading the way. Simon Birch crosses the line. The gap now, 0.362. That is equivalent to something similar to nothing. 1.8 seconds back is Hugo Sasser. So there, first, second and third. Max Kronberg is some 5.5 seconds back from this battle, so he's got nothing to worry about. Hugo Sasser has nothing to worry about. Kronberg has plenty to worry about, because Finn Zulauf is half a second behind him and maybe fancies a chance at fourth place here. The champions-elect Finn Zulauf and Josef Knopp, Leighton Fury behind them in sixth place. I've got one eye on the timing screens. I haven't seen any more penalties incoming at the moment. We've had plenty of those, thank you very much. Here's our race leader into the hairpin. Simon Birch closing in, under braking, then into the evening sunshine. And talking to some of the drivers, they had this problem at the Red Bull Ring because we're late in the afternoon. The sun in the eyes is an actual genuine problem. You've got a Perspex type windscreen in the cars. It makes the sun diffuse slightly. Very, very difficult to see in the autumn sunshine, the long shadows and the low sun. And Tano Neumann will be trying to hit all the right braking points as they head into that bright sunshine. Simon Birch will just be looking at the car in front and trying to outbrake him, trying to find the gap. looks to the inside, heading in to the Sachs curver, a nose in front. Now the two cars run side by side on the exit of turn 14. They come, but Tano Neumann fighting back. Simon Burgess has to yield that position, but now back towards turn 17. He has the inside line. It's going to be a drag race along past the pits. They come, a very wide line for Tano Neumann. All of that side by side running has brought Hugo Sassa back into the equation, into turn 1. Your new race leader bumping across the curve, Simon Birch. Hugo Sassa will not want to waste any time at all in dispatching Tano Neumann if he catches him, which he's doing now. He looks to the inside into turn 2. The two cars have a little nudge. They make a slight contact, but Sassa, with his elbows out, muscles through. Now Tano Neumann, having been leading this race, is relegated 2 positions in 1 lap with 16 3/4 minutes plus 1 lap remaining of this race. Our new race leader, Simon Birch, in car number 10. He's taken over from Denny Burnt, looking for both of their first ever wins in GT4 Germany. They are being pursued by the outgoing champion, Hugo Sassa, who's not having it easy. Tano Neumann did try to come back at him, but now in that 3rd place once again, heading in to the bright evening autumn sun here at the Hockenheimring, under braking into turn 8. Neumann having a little look to the outside, but Sassa has it covered off. Now, what can he do about Simon Birch? You can see how bright the sun is here as they head off in towards it. The sun in their eyes. Now Simon Birch has the problem of hitting all the right marks with the braking. Looking again at a replay of that lead change. It was on the exit of turn 17 where it was set up. Simon Birch getting a great exit out of 17. The back end of the car just sliding slightly. Tano Neumann onto the power, very wide out of the corner. And then it was a drag race in towards turn 1. And there the outgoing champion, Hugo Sassa, back to potentially hand the trophy over to his successor. That is the problem with the sun in towards turn 17. On board with Finn Zulaf, right, Max Kronberg up ahead of him. Max Kronberg in the fellow Avia WNS Motorsport car. So Finn Zulaf has dispatched Leighton Fury, now heading in towards Max Kronberg, and is going to be trying to find a route past. Now, how much of a battle will Kronberg put up? Because he will be aware that the car behind him wants to double secure the championship. Finn Zulaf in 5th place will want to secure as many points as possible. In 9th place is Tano Neumann, who is also in an Avia WNS Motorsport car. So Avia WNS Motorsport occupying 3rd, 4th and 5th, all running pretty close together out on the track. Looking down as the light starts to fade from the hairpin, a big gap on the inside of Max Kronberg. Well, he's not exactly gift wrapping it, is he? Out of the hairpin they come towards turn 7. And Kronberg, well, he fancies a shot at maybe getting some silverware himself, and he doesn't necessarily want his fellow teammate stealing that position away. The championships will be decided if things remain as they are now. It will be Finn Zulaf and Josef Knott, but there's still 14 minutes of racing remaining. Gabriel Piana is in 12th place. 12th place would give him 4 points. So even if at the moment, if Finn Zulaf were to record a non-finish, it still wouldn't be enough for Gabriel Piana and Michael Schrey to take the championship. Clearly not enjoying the pace of that BMW. They were aware coming into this weekend that it wasn't going to be a circuit that favoured them. It was going to be a circuit that favoured the Porsche, and that is why they were trying to gain as many points as they could at the tracks that did favour the BMWs. Out towards turn 1 again. Max Kronberg, Finn Zulaf filling his mirrors towards turn 2. There's our race leader who's gone through, then then Hugo Sassa, then Tano Neumann, then Max Kronberg, Finn Zulaf, then in the background, Leighton Fury. So is he winding in on them? 1.184 is the gap back to Leighton Fury. We've lost 2 cars from this race. We've lost Joe Warhurst and Philip Dietrich. Pleased to say that Mo Ritson, I believe, did carry on. He hadn't retired, he just lost a load of laps, or lost at least one lap. He's handed over to Gianni van der Kratz. Mark Di Fulgentio, I believe we've also lost as well. On board with Finn Zulaf into the sun they go once again on this, the closing race of the season. Race 12 of a 12-race season, ADAC GT4 Germany. Right, a penalty lap for car number 8. So it is Luca Bosco, the driver who had such a big impact at the Red Bull Ring. Last time we saw him, that big incident, he was collected side on by Gianni van der Kratz. Luca had to spend a night in hospital as a result of that. There is a change for position, a challenge for position, because even Eccleshare had briefly got in front of Philip Gogolok, but Gogolok's having none of it. Takes the position back. That'll be for 8th place. Up ahead of them is Tommy Gores, making good, steady progress. Right, there is the confirmation of the penalty lap for Luca Bosco. So his return, not as much glory as he'd hoped for, as we look again at this fight for 8th place. So Eccleshare launched it down the inside. The Aston Martin, I think they've finally worked out the brakes on that car after a season of tearing it apart and putting it back together again. They won at the Red Bull Ring, but now Gogolok retakes that position from even Eccleshare. But can he hold on for another 11.5 minutes? Well, we'll find out, won't we? There is Gogolok in 8th place. Up ahead of him is Tommy Gore. He's well clear. Right, there is the number 2 car. Gabriel Piana, Mikael Schrey, they were leading the championship at one point most of the season, but now they're in 2nd place. How much pressure can Philip Gogolok withstand from that very rapid Porsche, which is looking distinctly second-hand? Even Eccleshare, along with Ferdinand Winter, have been very much in the wars in the Wimmer Werk Porsche. Now, towards the hairpin, along the parabolica, you can see the difference in straight line speed under braking. Eccleshare gets it slowed down. Will Gogolok be able to duck back to the inside and take it back again? Sadly for him, no, he can't. So Eccleshare, as we look at Bosco going through the penalty box as requested. So Gogolok finally having to yield that position down to 9th place. Eccleshare up to 8th. There is our race leader, Simon Birch. Hugo Sasser keeping him honest. It was 1.163 last time around. And anybody who thought that Max Kronberg was going to hand 4th place to fellow teammate Finn Zulaf was very much mistaken, because he's certainly holding on to that 4th place with 10 minutes remaining. Finn Zulaf will be aware that he needs to bring this thing home. A DNF would put the championship a little bit in jeopardy, even if Gabriel Piana is in 12th place. So out along the pit straight they come once again towards turn 1. Still, Finn Zulaf in 5th place. 9 3/4 minutes plus 1 lap away from an historic championship win, along with his co-pilot Josef Knopp. In the background is Leighton Fury in car number 46. He's in 6th place. Just holding station as they are. The gap between the leader and 2nd place up about a 10th, 1.244 last time around. Along the parabolica again, flat out, the 2 Porsches. There's the leader, just saw him disappearing around the hairpin. Simon Birch, Sasser, just on his tail. Car 66, a penalty lap for track limits. Marcus Eicheler in the BMW, the next one to incur the wrath of the stewards. Those are the only penalty laps popping up at the moment. Keeping an eye to see if there's anything for anybody else. We figured that track limits might become a factor in the closing stages of this race. There have been, I wouldn't like to guess how many track limit warnings given, but I'd need a very large screen to fit them all in. If the race finished now, it would be a 15-point lead, and indeed the championship for Finn Zulaf and Josef Knopp. Gabriel Piana, Mikael Schrey, at one point looks as though they were going to have this championship signed and sealed by about August, and suddenly the wheels have fallen off the wagon in the 2nd part of the season, and Josef Knopp and Finn Zulaf, with the momentum behind them, have closed in. And it is Zulaf who's closing in on Max Kronberg. I should think that Josef Knopp will be watching from behind a cushion in the garage, because he can see Finn Zulaf dicing with the number 30 car, and he will be very keen for there to be no dramas and no incidents Then is Leighton Fury, then Tommy Gore in a solid 7th place. Then we wait for Ivan Ekelschik, who has now broken clear of Philip Gogelok, and now Gogelok has Adrian Ruchny for company in 10th place. There's Gabriel Piana coming next. Car 10 has been given a warning for track limits. Our race leader, Simon Birch, I should think that Gabriel Piana hustling that BMW may well be attracting attention too, going very wide out of turn 1 and in towards turn 2. But time is starting to run out on this championship. Time is running out on this season. 7¼ minutes plus 1 lap remaining of what has been a fantastic 2024 season for the ADAC GT4 Germany. Gabriel Piana has done everything that he can with the equipment that he has available to him this weekend, but the Hofer Racing by Bonk Motorsport BMW has not had the pace. Tano Neumann in a fairly solitary 3rd place at the moment. Then Max Kronberg and Finn Zulauf fighting over 4th place. Is not even a podium position, but Finn Zulauf will have the bigger picture in mind. Another penalty lap has been awarded. This time it's for Jan Philip Springhoff. His bag of luck continues, and this is for track limits. So car 85, currently in 15th place, will also have to visit the penalty box. Again, our focus on the fight for 4th. Max Kronberg has been holding on, confused all of us by turning up with a livery identical to that of the championship leaders, but hey-ho, we'll deal with it. Leading the two of them at the moment, Finn Zulauf still with plans on getting past while they are chasing each other. Leighton Fury in 6th place has closed in on both of them. It was about 0.6 of a second, maybe just a little under 0.7 of a second last time across the line. 6 minutes remaining of the season. Simon Birch still leading the way. I've got one eye on the screen to make sure no penalty laps pop up. Hugo Sasser, 1.5 seconds back in 2nd place. Then 3.6 seconds back from them is Tano Neumann. Once again, the fight for 4th place continues. Finn Zulauf does not want to throw it all away with a silly move on his teammate. This is just for glory. He doesn't really need the points, but he's going to try it. A dive bomb up on the inside into the hairpin, under braking. Zulauf sees the gap. And suddenly, Max Kronberg not really putting up too much of a fight. He tries to come back on the outside, but I'm wondering whether a call might have been made. Finn Zulauf just picking up that 4th place, some valuable points just to secure that position at the top of the point standings with 5 minutes of the season remaining. Now Leighton Fury will be eager to challenge Max Kronberg. I reckon he may be a lot less gentle in his challenge as he tries to get past the car in front if he can catch him. Looking down in the glorious evening sun as the sun sets here at the Hockenheimring, the closing race of the season and the ADAC DTM race weekends. We are on the road to DTM. The winner of this championship, most likely to be Finn Zulauf and Josef Knopp, will get funding towards a GT Masters seat next year. The winner of GT Masters, spoiler alert, Elias Seppänen on the road to DTM, gets funding for a DTM seat next year. All part of the ladder of the road to DTM organised by the ADAC. Wonderful stuff, and the cars continue into the sunset. Just over 4 minutes remaining. Very much holding station, at least that was the case, because Leighton Fury has now closed in on Max Kronberg and fancies a shot at 5th place. So Kronberg will be aware of the blue, yellow, black BMW bearing down on him. Leighton Fury, who wins in everything he races in. He's yet to win in GT4 Germany. He might have to wait another year to get a win in this series. I do hope we're going to see him next year. Finn Zulauf and Josef Knopp with that 18-point gap if the race finished now. Gabriel Piana and Mikael Schrey with nothing that they can bring to the table. Currently in 11th place with Piana at the wheel. In the background there is Tommy Gore. Less than 3.5 minutes remaining of this race. Still Simon Birch, he's opened up a bad 10th on Hugo Sasser. Sasser, who won yesterday, carrying that extra 15 kilos of success ballast, not got the pace that he had yesterday as a result of that. So as we head towards 3 minutes of this race, we look to see, are there any more twists, any more turns? Is there a sting in the tail in this 2024 season that has been so entertaining? A season that has seen us with counting 5 different cars winning. Are we going to make it a 6th with Simon Birch and Denny Burnt? Look how hard Leighton Fury is challenging. He wants this position. 2.5 minutes remaining. They are challenging for 5th place. Leighton Fury in 6th at the moment. Maybe only a matter of time. He flicks out a slipstream as they head along past the pits towards turn 1. They come. They need to be careful not to exceed track limits. It's not too late to pick up a penalty, even if there is less than 2.5 minutes remaining of this race towards turn 2. A little look to the inside. Still, Max Kronberg holding off Leighton Fury for that 5th place. In the background, Tommy Gore continues to run on his own. While that's been going on, Finn Zulauf has been able to break clear in 4th place, but that's about as far as he's going to go, because he is 3.3 seconds back from Tano Neumann. You can see Neumann going around the hairpin now, and a little too far ahead to be caught with 1 minute and 3/4 remaining. That's certainly not the case for this battle here. The battle for 5th place. Max Kronberg with Leighton Fury, Avia WNS Motorsport looking for the clean sweep in all the championships. Look on nervously. Yes, the cameras are pointing at you, chaps. You can wave. You might even be able to crack a smile. We'll confirm that for sure. The clock now at 1 minute and 20 seconds. So Simon Birch is going to cross the line before the clock strikes 0. So by my reckoning, it's going to be a little over 2 laps remaining of this race. 2 laps remaining in this season, the 2024 season for ADAC GT4 Germany. And you are looking at the car that is potentially going to be the new champion. Finn Zulauf and Josef Knopp. They've already clinched the junior title. Can they also do that very rare thing of making it a double and clinching the overall title as well? Max Kronberg is going to clinch and has clinched the trophy title. Avia WNS Motorsport are on the edge of clinching the team championship. We ride on board with Finn Zulauf up towards the hairpin for the penultimate time, and then it will be championship celebration. Still fighting for position further back. It is a pass, or was a pass. Leighton Fury getting together with Max Kronberg. He spins the car around. The big beneficiary of this, Tommy Gore. He's going to get past both of them. So Tommy Gore passing both Leighton Fury and Max Kronberg as the 2 cars get together in the closing stages of this race. So we haven't had an update on the timing, but now we have Tommy Gore up into 5th place. Ever the opportunist. He jumps when he sees them get together. So now it's a recovery time, because Leighton Fury is behind even Eccleshick. He is promoted a position. He goes deep into the corner. So let's have a look again at the cars getting together, and it was Leighton Fury who went spinning. He was able to recover and get back out again, and fairly big thump from Max Kronberg, and I'm wondering whether there might be a penalty incoming. Avia WNS Motorsport, they were smiling, less so now. Right, where is our race leader? Simon Birch is in 16 at the moment, heading towards 17. He is about to start the final lap of the season. We are about to see a bit of history made. We're going to see potentially Simon Birch and Denny Burnt taking their first ever win in ADAC GT4 Germany. We could potentially be about to see Finn Zulauf and Josef Knopp taking their first championship in ADAC GT4 Germany. Less than 4 kilometers remaining now for Simon Birch. Hugo Sasser with the weight success penalty on board. He's taken 0.3 of a second. out of Simon Birch's lead, but it doesn't look like he's going to get any further. I should think the arguments about the incident you see on screen is going to be debated into the night. It's not going to affect us in terms of the 1, 2, 3 on the podium. In third place, Tano Neumann, 1.4 seconds clear of Finn Zulauf, and there is Finn Zulauf. The emotions will be starting to flow in the pits. He'll be listening to every single knock, every creak, every groan that comes from that Porsche. He needs it now just to get all the way to the start-finish line, because Gabriel Piana is back in 11th place. The championship is now almost slipped away into turn 12 for the very last time. Finn Zulauf at the wheel at the Avia WNS Motorsport Porsche. Tano Neumann has also got pressure from him, but I don't think he's going to challenge for a pass, or is he? Surely he's not going to steal a trophy away from Tano Neumann. But here, Simon Birch into turn 16 for the very last time. It's going to be a first ever win for Simon Birch and Denny Bird. Second across the line, outgoing champion Hugo Sasser, along with Raphael Renhofer, Tano Neumann and Alain Gobet. Are they going to get third? Yes, they are. The champions of 2024 are going to be Finn Zulauf and Josef Knob. They are the champions of ADAC GT4 Germany. And there you can see in the car, the celebrations have started already. Josef Knob, he punches the air with delight. The Avia WNS team celebrate with a win in the championship for the team as well. And there is the car you have to feel for Gabriel Piana and Mikael Schrey. They did everything that they could, but the odds were stacked against them this weekend. They just didn't have the pace. And Gabriel Piana, potentially a little bit emotional, having seen what was a fairly healthy championship lead at one point during the season slip away in this, the closing round. The door is open of the Finn Zulauf car. Fellow teammate, the 32 with Tommy Gore at the wheel, congratulating as well on the slow down lap as the sun sets over the Hockenheimring in this, the 6th season of ADAC GT4 Germany. We have brand new names on the trophy. Those names are Josef Knob and Finn Zulauf. Phenomenal stuff. Consistency right across the season. That's what wins championships. They only took 2 wins, but they took so many podiums along the way. And it was that got them the top of the point standings. And in the end, Gabriel Piana and Mikael Schrey had nothing that they could bring to the table to challenge them here at the Hockenheimring. So there is confirmation. Obviously, the stewards still have some things to look at, but Simon Birch, Denny Byrne, a clean race for them. Hugo Sasser, Raphael Renhofer in second, ahead of Tano Neumann and Alain Gabet. Finn Zulauf and Josef Knob, your new champions, ahead of Jamaica's Tommy Gore and Summer Bell. Even Eccleshick and Ferdinand Winter, they've been in the wars, but a 6th place ahead of Leighton Fury and Max Rosam. Philip Gogelot wrestling the Aston Martin home, along with Jan Marshall into 8th place, ahead of Adrian Richney, who shared the driving duties with Daniel Drexel. And it was a 10th place in the end for Gabriel Piana and Mikael Schrey. A penalty lap was awarded to Damon Sazishin. That was replaced with a 5-second penalty, and that was for exceeding track limits. There, a replay of the emotional moment as they cross the line and take the championship. A clean sweep for Avia WNS Motorsport. And there is Finn Zulauf in the car. Great to see and hear the outpourings of emotions. It's their names that will be on the trophy. Some donuts for Gabriel Piana in front of the crowds here that are gathered on the South Bend. We've had nearly 100,000 people here for the DTM this weekend who have been enjoying the finale of the DTM, and they will have enjoyed the finale for the ADAC GT4 Germany. The winners, Simon Birch and Denny Burnt of the race. The winners of the championship. It's going to be Finn Zulauf and Josef Knopp. They replaced the names Hugo Sasser and Mike David Ortman, who occupied the names on the trophies in 2022. It was Mikael Schrey and Gabriel Piano who won it in 2021. Nikolai Moller-Madsen, who's here as a driver coach, and Jan Kasperlik of Allied Racing, who won it in 2020. And Mads Silgerhaug and Eike Angermeyer, who won the initial championship back in 2019. And now it is the name Finn Zulauf and Josef Knopp, which will be engraved on that trophy. And there is the trophy champion, Max Kronberg, as well. There is Hugo Sasser, the outgoing champion on the left-hand side, Raphael Renhofer. They've done a great job. Remember, they were running with all that success ballast on today. They won yesterday, a second place today. Good job done by all. They received congratulations from the rest of the crew in Parc Fermé. And very, very shortly, we hope to bring you the podium celebrations. But it went all the way down to the final round. And there is Simon Birch on the left, Denny Burnt, his co-driver, tipping the water down himself, keeping himself cool. It might be an autumn day here, but it's actually quite warm. It's nearly 15 degrees centigrade. I should pack me shorts, really, shouldn't I? In the Parc Fermé area, we're going to get them onto the podium as soon as we possibly can. It has been a fantastic season for ADAC GT4 Germany here at the Hockenheimring. It was a season that started back in April at Oschersleben. We went to the Lausitzring, and at that point, it had been 3 wins in a row for Gabriel Piana and Mikael Schrey. They made it 5 wins out of 4 with a win around the streets of Nuremberg at the Norris Ring. But it was from there onwards that things seemed to come unraveled. And it was these guys here who came home to take the championship lead in the closing stages. As we came in today, they'd inherited the championship lead. There's Simon Birch, who spends a lot of time doing other racing as well. We've seen Simon Birch this year in GT2, the European Series with Razzoon. Right, onto the podium comes Tano Neumann and Alon Gabay. Solid job from them in the number 9 car. Their first podium in the overall race in ADAC GT4 Germany. Outgoing champion Hugo Sasser with Raphael Renhofer in second place. But first-time winners in ADAC GT4 Germany. They've had a couple of second places. It was only a matter of time. Simon Birch and Denny Burnt. So we have a representative from Razzoon More Than Racing as well. Very popular team, do a great job here in a GT4 Germany, and he will receive a trophy on behalf of the team. But before all of that, we'll have the national anthem. So Simon Birch and Denny Burnt for Razzoon More Than Racing. They waited until the last minute to take that win. We'll always remember Simon Birch spanking the walls of the Norris Ring. Just showing how strong the Porsche is earlier in this year. Finally, though, it was the top step of the podium, and they get the trophies as well. The management board at ADAC bringing their representatives to present trophies to Rafael Rennhofer and Hugo Sassa. Really excited to see what happens with that driver duo, whether they go back to GT4, whether they continue in GT3. Great to see Tano Neumann and Alon Gabay, the driver from Israel, and I believe that's the first Israeli driver we've ever had on a GT4 podium. And Razun More Than Racing getting yet another trophy to go on their ever-growing mantelpiece. Right, we'll gather up for the celebrations. Photos first, and then it's time to uncork the champagne. Time for the relief, because it has been a very tense season. They've all been learning off Lando Norris, haven't they? The torpedoes of champagne shooting up into the air here at the Hockenheimring. It has been spectacular as part of the support for DTM. The road to DTM. Our champions, Josef Knopp and Finn Zulauf, will get that financing for an entry into GT Masters next year. Will they be racing against Hugo Sassa and Rafael Rennhofer? I would just say it's been great to have Christoph Esser's team, Pro Sport Racing, back on the grid for this, the final round. So I'm just waiting to see if we will get a championship podium as well. Here again is classification of the point standings. Finn Zulauf and Josef Knopp at the final hurdle, making the jump on Mikael Schrey and Gabriel Piana, our long-time championship leaders. Third in the championship, haven't even mentioned even Eccleschick and Ferdinand Winter, Max Rosam and Leighton Fury doing a solid job into fourth place as well. And all of these drivers who have fought so hard in what is arguably one of the toughest GT4 categories in the world. To win here really is a remarkable achievement, and that is exactly what they have done here at the Hockenheimring. We don't have a calendar yet for next year. It has been, up until now, we have been supporting DTM. It's not confirmed that we'll be supporting every DTM round, but I suspect that might be the case. Right, Avia WNS Motorsports, thank you, who are posing for their photos as well as the winning team. And now here come your brand new champions in ADAC GT4 Germany in the 6th season of this wonderful series. A series that never fails to entertain. There, don't drop the trophy, mate. Max Kronberg winning in the trophy category, and it's double victory in the junior ranking as well for Finn Zulauf and Josef Knopp. We've heard that national anthem a few times, haven't we? So, what a way to finish what has been a spectacular year in ADAC GT4 Germany. Jürgen Fabry, honorary member of the ADA Sports Commission, presenting the winner's trophy. Boy, have they worked hard for that. It looked very much out of reach only a couple of months ago, but they came back with a vengeance in the closing part of this season. So now the celebration starts. We have our champions in the 6th season of ADAC GT4 Germany. We're going to come back and do it all again next year. It will be season number 7. Do hope you're going to join us then. Who knows what will happen? We'll see you next year. Bye-bye.